It is now my privilege to take you with me to the home of Mrs. Albert A. Patterson. Mrs. Patterson is the widow of the man who was murdered on June 18th, 1954, the Attorney General nominate of this state of Alabama. She is a grand Southern woman, mother of 4 boys, very proud of her son John, who came home from the wars and took over the task that his father laid down when he died under an assassin's bullet. John, today, her son, is the man who must prosecute, indict, and bring to justice the killers of his father. Mrs. Patterson lived here under the threat of the machine, and she can answer our question as to what life was then like. We go now to her home.
How many free elections and honest elections have you experienced here, Mrs. Patterson?
Well, I've never experienced any free elections here until this cleanup. We had a little city election.
Now, what about John? Do you worry about John's future at all? Do you think that he may be threatened by the machine the way Mr. Patterson was?
Well, I don't think he will be hurt anyway. I believe he's all right.
You think that there's no chance of him being treated the way your husband was?
Well, I hope there's no chance.
Mrs. Patterson, you're obviously a woman of great courage. You've had the strength to carry on. Where did that courage come from?
Well, Mr. Roberts, I suppose I got the courage from being in this fight so long, and we had friends that were really doing their best to try to help make our town a clean place to live in our state. And I have sons, and of course I wanted them to have a chance. And we have good people in this town, and they were under bondage, and they had to have freedom. And it took something terrible to get people to wake up. And I think if the good people of America could take a lesson from this, they'd always be on the alert and go to the polls and vote and do everything they can to make a good America.